Have you ever wondered if love is always real, or if sometimes it's just a mask we wear to avoid facing the fear of being alone? Society tells us that happiness means being in a relationship, that to be whole, you must be two. But what if true happiness has nothing to do with another person at all? Welcome to the Stoic Flame, where today we explore the courage of solitude, the meaning of love, and the power of standing whole on your own. Choosing to live alone is often misunderstood, treated as a sign of lack. But in reality, facing yourself is one of the bravest acts a person can take. Stoic philosophy teaches us that happiness is never built on lovers, recognition, or applause. It begins only when we free ourselves from dependence on external things. To be single is not to reject love. It is to discover a greater kind of love, for freedom, for growth, and for oneself. Because only when we stop running from solitude do we truly begin to live. Yet we live in a culture that glorifies romantic love, almost worships it. From fairy tales to movies, we're told that fulfillment means finding someone who completes us. To be single is often painted as failure, as if solitude is a shadow. But is it really love we're chasing? Or are we simply afraid of the silence within? Think about it. How many people cannot sit through a single evening alone? They reach for their phone not because they have something to say, but because the silence feels unbearable. Text messages become proof that they are remembered, seen, needed, even when the words are empty. Is that truly love, or is it just a fragile attempt to escape loneliness? The Stoics remind us, loneliness itself is not the danger. The real danger is running from it. Every fear is a teacher, and every moment alone is an invitation to meet yourself. Belonging does not always mean being surrounded. Sometimes belonging begins within, in the quiet acceptance of who you are, unpolished, unfinished, unafraid. Here lies a paradox. The more we chase relationships out of fear, the lonelier we become. When we depend on others to complete us, we give away pieces of our own soul. These are the invisible chains we clasp around our own wrists, often without even noticing. But what if being single is not emptiness, but opportunity? Not a void, but a canvas. The Stoics teach us that no external thing, praise, rejection, even love, can define us. What remains is the strength we build within, our character, our courage, and the ability to face silence without fear. And when you do that, the question shifts. Are you really seeking love, or just escape? Because relationships born from fear are fragile. They look like safety, but they are built on sand. Every disagreement feels like disaster. Every silence feels threatening. And in that fear, we slowly trade away our authenticity just to avoid being left alone. Epictetus once wrote, "He who is not satisfied with himself will not grow." A relationship entered from emptiness will always demand more than the other can give. But when love comes from fullness, from wholeness, it becomes a gift, not a plea for rescue. This is the courage of being single, to realize that wholeness was never something another person could hand you. It was always within you, waiting beneath the noise and behind the fear. But belonging has a cost. How many times have you laughed at a joke you didn't find funny, or silenced your true desires just to fit in? Little by little, we sand down the sharp edges of who we are, until one day we look in the mirror and barely recognize ourselves. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The only thing that isn't worthless is to live this life truthfully and rightly." To live truthfully often means standing apart, refusing to disappear just to belong. Singlehood, when embraced, is not emptiness but power. It is space, space to heal, to create, to rediscover passions left behind. In solitude, you meet yourself fully for the first time. You realize that fulfillment doesn't come from being chosen. It comes from choosing yourself. Many of history's greatest thinkers and creators found their strength in solitude. Not because they were unloved, but because they dared to walk alone long enough to hear their own voice. Newton under the apple tree, Marcus Aurelius with his journal, Frida Kahlo painting through the night. They were not running from people. They were running toward themselves. This is not a rejection of love. It's the foundation of it. When you are whole, love is no longer a desperate need. It becomes a conscious choice. You no longer beg for validation. You can say goodbye without fear because your worth does not depend on staying together. True love is two whole people walking side by side, not two halves clinging for completion. So if you are single, do not see it as lack. See it as a gift, an invitation to grow into your full self. The world may tell you otherwise, but the Stoics remind us, you are already whole. Happiness, freedom, and strength begin not in another's arms, but in your own soul. And if love comes while you are on that path, it will not bind you. It will set you free. I kept it flowing, added emotional punch, polished pacing, and included the Stoic flame at the start.